Once again, thanks to Delaware Solid Waste Authority for sponsoring this initial Pachachka webinar for the Academy. Our third Pachachka presentation is Dr. Abhijit Rashaudri. So Abhijit, we're really glad to have you here. He's an assistant professor of environmental science and natural resources at Navajo Technical University, and he's a member of the American Academy of Environmental Engineers and Scientists. What we're going to be talking about now is a decade-long water issues, the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, and what is the road forward. Dr. Rashaudri, the stage is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for being here. As Dan mentioned, my name is Abhishek. I'm a faculty member at Navajo Technical University. We are located in Crown Point, New Mexico, in the heart of Navajo Nation. So just to let you know where Navajo Nation is, we are one of the tribally recognized university, and Navajo Nation is the largest Native American tribe in the U.S. 270,000 square miles area span across New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. One of the high mountain desert. Monument Valley is one of the famous tourist spot of Navajo Nation. Navajo Nation actually made into the news during the pandemic because we registered highest per capita COVID infection rate in the US, way over New York, California, with very little medical facilities across this Indian reservation. And we went through one of the most COVID restriction 57 hours curfew over the weekend. And one of the reasons behind is that most of the homes, over 30% of the homes within Navajo Nation Reservation don't have running water. Yes, we are talking about place inside US where you open your tap, you will not get water. So if we want to look back into the reason behind that, some is natural. We are in the receiving end of climate change. So we are going through decade-long drought. This is a drought, survey results that shows that for last few years, we are going through severe form of drought, which is D4. But the major reason of water shortage on Navajo Nation can be dated back to the Cold War era when uranium mining was booming in this area. Right now, we have over 500 abundant uranium mines all across Navajo Nation, and most of them are uncapped. So that means they are radiating, radiation throughout the reservation, and our soil, water, and air are contaminated. This is the consolidated map we built, and that shows that across Navajo Nation, across these different agencies, this is the span of those abundant uranium mines and with their composite score. And when we superlie this composite map with the COVID infected areas, we find a really good connection. So again, these are the red dots are the homes without water, and black dots are those homes that are within 1 mile radius of those abundant uranium mines. So people are actually directly exposed to uranium. And this is how Navajo people get their water. So they need to haul water from sometimes 40 miles one way. They end up getting water from this windmill wells that's pumping groundwater, but they're not safe for human consumption. So Navajo Nation EPA has put up these warning signs. So we surveyed and we prepared this map that on Navajo Nation, there are over 700 windmill livestock wells that has this warning sign that water is not safe for drinking or any other human activity, but only for livestock use. But instead of driving 30, 40 miles each way, people end up drinking those water, which are contaminated with uranium, lead, and other heavy metals. And that's the reason that now people have pre-existing health condition. They're they have a high cancer rate, they have high blood pressure, high cardiovascular diseases, and those are the direct cause that they were they were registering that high per capita COVID infection rate. So we went ahead and we built a coalition between Navajo Tech and New Mexico Tech and our industry partner PESCO, and we formed this N2NMT Navajo Nation Water Purification Project. In Navajo, To means water. So our theme of the project is restoring vital water resources in Navajo Nation. So at New Mexico Tech, our colleagues developed this hollow fiber membrane based DCMD water filtration system. These are mainly developed at their PRRC site for produced water treatment. So this is the hollow fiber membrane, and they coated it with polymers and make it a hydrophilic and hydrophobic surface area. So you need to heat up the water. The water, liquid water, transform into steam, and that water vapor crosses the filter, and every other contaminant present in that water gets ejected out from the other end of the filter. This is the real water from Navajo Nation. US EPA has the TDS limit of 500. The limit for TDS 500 mg per liter, but Navajo Nation water has 100 times more, and the filtration unit was removing that TDS at a way lower concentration, along with other heavy metals, including uranium, arsenic. And these are the some of the water recovery rate from this hollow fiber membrane based DCMD processes, which was giving us great results from the water recovery standpoint as well. So the whole idea is we partnered with our industry partner, and right now we are deploying this field deployable water filtration units. This is one of that unit, which will be out in the field in next few months. And Navajo Nation is divided into 110 chapters. So each chapters think about the municipality. They have the local governing bodies, and they need to give us permission. And because we are a minority community, so we are training our tribal students. So most of the students, 96% of our students are Native American. So they are for the first time getting training on water research. So we're taking them to the field, they're collecting sample, analyzing them. And not only that, they're presenting the result in the national conferences. And as I mentioned, it is a community-based project, so we need to get the permission from the chapter. So we are going to each chapters, making presentation, getting their approval. And one of the approval looks like the left-hand corner picture is called chapter resolution. Once you get the resolution, then only you can go out, collect sample, and then do your research. So with that, I want to thank AES for giving me this platform. I want to thank all of you to be here and listen. And it's a great teamwork. So I want to thank every member of this of our team. And I would love to take any question. And we have a website, so you guys feel free to check it, and I will be happy to answer any question you have. Dan, over to you.
Well, congratulations on a successful Pachachka. You came in right under the wire. Of course, that's because those slides, they move whether you want them to or not. Fantastic presentation, Abhijit. We really appreciate that. So, just thinking right now, this is going to be a question born of ignorance. But when I start thinking like uranium, and I start thinking about it as a metal, and trying to get rid of it, then I immediately start thinking about like chromium and arsenic and all these other things. And I start to think, it seems like I've seen ways to remove these kinds of things in perhaps what we might characterize developing community context, right? Maybe lower cost or less energy or more point of use, as opposed to kind of the hollow fiber membrane kind of high. So can you speak to that kind of trade-off? Was there was there some kind of push back and forth, like, well, we need to use high tech because Navajo Nation sits inside this larger country called the US, or what was it? Would it have been okay to have used something that would have seemed more like a developing community kind of approach? Can you speak to some of that dynamic, particularly with looking at that uranium issue?
Absolutely. So again, Dan, we need to go back and check, which community we're talking about, right? The people here don't speak English, right? So you cannot, and everything we are doing, and the whole idea is that we will deploy these units and we'll give it to the community for free. But we cannot just do it. We need to train them, right? So training starts with their own member, and those members are our students, right? So something that can be easily maintained, that don't require replacement such often. And that's why we selected this hollow fiber membrane, because they don't clog, right? Because only the water is crossing the barrier. Everything else is concentrated out and settled into the collecting tank. So what will be the less community involvement? Who is going to pay for the replacement, right? So that's the whole idea, how the, like in every member of the community can utilize this system without zero minimum maintenance. So that was the whole idea, to come up with this type of technology which can go for a longer run.
Okay, okay. And then in terms of like the capital cost to put it together and
Sure.
distribute it, so then is the model of that something where the community is paying a portion and then part is coming government and other sources? But help me understand maybe some of the funding model that would
Sure.
support being able to have this technology.
Absolutely. So the whole idea is the community should not bear any cost, because these communities are ruling their or operating under a very low budget, annual budget. Okay, so 110 chapters gets some money from Navajo Nation, which is not even enough to do their daily business as of now. So they don't want any any further burden. So the everything is coming from government money. So we have received some money from Navajo Nation. We have applied for so many federal grants so that we can get more money for the filtration unit. So the whole idea is we are responsible to get the money for them, and we are training students. Only thing they need to do, they need to identify some of those personnel who will be taking care of them when we will be handing it over. We are not actually giving it to them right away. So first 2 years, we will be there with them to train them.
Okay.
And the whole idea is at least one student from that particular chapter will be involved with this project. And this is again, this is a very short time, but the whole model is we are undergrad institution. So the students, we are and we have dual degree programs. So high school students get to come and take their university credit. So we are recruiting students from high school level who will be coming to NTU for their undergrad study, will be going to NMT for their grad study. And with their grad degree, they are now well equipped to work for Navajo Nation.
Understood. Fantastic. So there's a bootstrapping up in the community, right? So it's a very much a
Yes.
community embedded project with
Absolutely.
technology coming together. Fantastic. So I guess one other question I would have would then maybe be around some of the intellectual property. I mean, so certainly you would now want to publish this, but as you would make these improvements, right, working with community as an academic, can you kind of speak to that a little bit? Because I think that would be it would create an interesting dynamic for you in an academic position.
Absolutely. So this product is the filtration unit itself is right now going through getting patent through NMT. So, but we will make it available to everyone with the publication. So some of the filtration papers are already out, but the whole idea is because we are only one of the 35 tribal universities. So in the US, there are only 35 tribal universities, right? So this will be a model how a tribal university can lead a project that is serving directly to its Native American community. It can be any representative community, right? So we are creating that model, how a university can build a partnership with industry to serve its own people, and that people will be able to take ownership of the product. And again, we don't know, right? So this is the first run. So we will see, we'll learn from our mistakes. But once the model is ready, it will be available for anyone because we are a university, we are a public university. So it's free information. And that's why we have a website. Anyone can go and look our progress. And again, everything is up. And our students are presenting in almost every conference related to water.
Wonderful.
So,
Abhijit, thank you so much. Once
Thank
again, we appreciate you being here and doing a Pachachka presentation for us.